Today we're going to make my version of Rayo's famous lemon broiled chicken. Here are all the ingredients. Let's make it right now. All right, so I always like to go over the ingredients. I have one whole chicken. So what I did with it is I cut the backbone out, cut it in half completely. So now we have 2 halves of chicken. Salted it with about 4 teaspoons of Diamond Crystal kosher salt. Okay, both sides, and then stuck it in the fridge overnight uncovered. Salt penetrates the chicken more. Chicken's going to be more flavorful, and it dries it out a little bit. That'll help a little bit more with the roasting and broiling process. If you didn't do that, it's not a big deal because, you know, the way they actually make it, they don't do that. They just salt the chicken right away. So you can do that too if you want. And you can really do that with any recipe. But if you do take the time to salt any protein, say a meat, not fish, you don't want to do that. But if you do any meats or chicken, poultry, lamb the day before, the salt is going to keep it a little bit juicier because essentially it's like kind of working the moisture in there like a wet brine does, and it will dry it out, which is a good thing too. But again, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. For the sauce, I have about, the recipe says a 1/4 cup. I'm using a 1/4 cup in my written recipe, but right here I'm gonna go with 1/3 cup because I do like a little bit more lemon juice. That's fresh lemon juice, so it's like 2 lemons, maybe a little bit more. 1 tablespoon of red wine vinegar, 5 cloves of garlic that are minced, 1 teaspoon Diamond Crystal kosher salt, half a teaspoon black pepper, and a tablespoon of dried oregano, and about a 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil, maybe a little bit more. That's going to give us roughly a cup of sauce, and that sauce is going to go on at the end when we broil the chicken. I also have a little bit of lemon zest, so if you want even more of a punch of lemon, you can top that on the chicken at the end when it comes out of the broiler. You don't have to do it. That's optional. Parsley, that's going to be mixed into our sauce at the end. A little bit of cold butter is going to be mixed into our sauce at the end. And lemons. So I got some nice slices of lemons that are just going to go on the plate to garnish it. Final ingredient is a cup of chicken stock. Okay, so the chicken stock is just going to be used for when we do our initial roasting of the chicken. And our initial roasting of the chicken is going to be still at high temperature, but it's not going to cook the chicken all the way through. Okay, so it's a 2-step process that we're using here. But let's make the sauce right now. Okay, for our sauce, get the lemon juice in there. Again, I'm using a 1/4 cup in the print, but I'm going with 1/3 cup here. There are some recipes for this online that use 2 cups of lemon juice, but I don't know if that's correct because there's some videos of them making it, and they're not using even, they have the sauce because everything's prepped. When they make it, they're using a ladle, just a ladle of the sauce. So I don't know. I think 2 cups would be extreme. And you'll be left with a ton of sauce too. After you add your olive oil and everything else, you're gonna be like 4 cups of sauce, which I think is too much. But if you wanna do it, you can do it. 1/2 cup of olive oil. You can use regular olive oil or extra virgin. 5 cloves minced garlic, 1 tablespoon dried oregano, 1/2 teaspoon black pepper, 1 teaspoon Diamond Crystal kosher salt. Mix this together. We'll mix it again when we're going to use it. You could also put a little bit of Dijon mustard in here to help emulsify it a little bit. 1 or 2 teaspoons. Not going to change the flavor of the sauce. So we got about a cup of sauce, which I think is fine for our 1 chicken that we're making. Okay, so my oven's at 500 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to cook it at 500 degrees for 25 minutes. Okay, that's going to make our chicken probably anywhere from like 130 to 140. We're going to finish the pieces at a broil. That's the 2-part process. Put a little bit of oil on this. Gonna rub that oil all over chicken. And it's just olive oil. Season it with pepper. It's already been salted overnight. If it wasn't salted overnight for you, you just would salt it now, both sides. And I'm going to use an oven-safe pan. So this is a 14-inch pan. This is going to be large enough that after, when our chicken comes out, we're going to chop it into pieces, into large chunks. And then those chunks will all be able to fit in here initially. I mean, after the fact. Initially, you could do the roasting in a smaller pan, but it probably won't be large enough when you go to broil it after they're all cut. And this is 1 cup of chicken stock. Yeah, in the video, when they make it, he uses water, but I'm just using chicken stock because I'm going to reserve a little bit of this for the sauce. And that's just going to prevent the chicken from sticking to the bottom of the pan right now. All right, I just like to use 1 pan, and that's it. So this oven at 500 degrees Fahrenheit, I don't know if I told you in the beginning. Let it get hot to 500. Let it get hot for 30 minutes before you even stick it in the oven. And I'm gonna put this at about the middle level at 500 for exactly 25 minutes. Okay, so that's been 25 minutes. Chicken looks pretty good right now, but we're gonna get it to be more crisp and everything. One thing I didn't tell you, sorry I forgot, I just clipped off the wing tips. They have a tendency to burn when you broil it for how long we're gonna broil it for. Right now I'm gonna set the broiler, and you have a choice here. Like, we're broiling it for 10 minutes, so you gotta, you're gonna have to watch it. There's a couple videos where, and I'll keep referencing them, where Rayo's, they show it. Some, the chicken's super black. Then others, it's not too black at all. So I don't know if like it's just, the person, it was different people cooking in it. If you want to get it really black, you're just going to keep your broiler, you're going to put it towards the top of your broiler. Move your oven rack up. I like to start it at middle of the oven because a 10-minute broil is a long time. You can always move it up and get it more charred if you like. The other thing you can do, and I didn't do this in the recipe and they don't do it either, you can start your legs and your thighs 5 minutes earlier, because legs and thighs are just better when they're 185 degrees Fahrenheit minimum. Why is that? Because they have more connective tissue. It's the working part of the chicken, and that will break down not at 165 really. It needs higher heat. That all being said, you don't have to do that. And the way I wrote the recipe, I'm not doing that. You'll be good. You just don't want to overcook your chicken. Right now, if we put a thermometer on this, it's going to register about 130 into the thickest part of the thigh or the breast. Okay, I'm going to put the chicken halves right here. And we're going to cut this. So we're going to cut through the bone. This is bone-in chicken recipe. This recipe is similar to other bone-in chicken recipes that we have that are in our cookbook. We have chicken scarparello, we have chicken Vesuvio, and Italian baked chicken and potatoes. If you love those type of bone-in chicken recipes, buy the cookbook. It's right here. It's right here. If you don't want to buy the cookbook, this recipe is fully for you. It's on our site, everything like that. Okay?
Buy the cookbook for someone who likes cookbooks.
Yes, buy the cookbook for someone who likes cookbooks. So you see how we have all this liquid here? I'm going to pour this out, and I'm just going to retain a 1/4 cup of it. That's all I want. This is good stuff here. You can save it. You have chicken fat and chicken stock here. I only have about a 1/2 cup, so I'm just going to pour about 1/4 of that back in the pan. Yeah, about that much. Just eyeball it, it's fine. All right, I'm going to let these cool a couple minutes, then we're going to cut them up, and we're going to get them in the broiler. Get that broiler really hot. All right, so here's our chicken. So I'm just going to take off the thigh area. Okay, like that. Oh, I took a little bit of skin off that one. And then this is like a relatively small piece here. So it depends on the size of your chicken. I would divide this into 3 pieces here. So the wing and a little bit of the breast area. And then one more here. You can, like if your chicken's bigger, and you'll see in the pictures that I have, I used a bigger chicken. I probably used a 4.5 pound chicken. I divided it into 6, but today we'll do 5 pieces per chicken half. And you can see like the chicken still not cooked all the way through. Okay, so just like that, like that, like that. And just be careful with your pan because it's still gonna be hot if it's a stainless pan. Okay, and we'll just arrange our pieces back in here like so. Now remember, we have a 1/4 cup of the chicken stock in this pan already, the initial liquid we put in. And now I'm just gonna mix this up again and just pour it on top of all the chicken. You might have to use a little bit of judgment here. So you can take an instant read to some of your chicken here. If you're finding your breast meat is kind of cooked almost all the way, so maybe do that for 5 minutes, remove them, and then let your thighs and your legs go longer, or do your thighs and legs first if you only had it cooked a little bit lower internal temperature. I'm having my rack pretty high now, and I'm probably gonna go for about 5 to 10 minutes in the broiler. Before I put it in the oven, you can check your breast meat. So it's about 147, okay? And then go into the thigh, go into the thickest parts of the thigh, 142. Again, if you had a larger chicken, this might be registering 130. So you might have to finesse just a little bit, but I think a 4-pound chicken is perfect for this recipe. So I'm just whisking in about 1.5 tablespoons of butter right now into this sauce. Just gonna help richen it up a little bit, thicken it up just a touch. Then we'll put in a good amount of parsley and then pour all the sauce on top of the chicken. Okay, if you have too much for your platter, just save it on the side. It's perfect for bread dipping. Lemon slices. And you can top with the optional zest if you want. I'm not even gonna do it here. We'll see what the taste tester thinks. And he's gonna be down in a second to try it. All right, James, thanks for coming down.
Yeah, you're welcome.
What do you think?
It looks pretty good.
Looks pretty good?
I mean, you know, these aren't like my favorite type of dishes. I like the pastas more, but yeah, it looks pretty good.
You're gonna set up right away, like letting people know. What I figured I'd let you pick what piece.
Take this piece. This piece
Okay,
looks really
yeah,
good.
put it right here. Okay, anything else? Like
Maybe just a little bit of lemon squeeze on there.
Okay.
Definitely give that child some bread. His eyes lit up when he saw the bread.
Yeah, I know. He's like, I'm here for the bread.
It's my favorite part of these dishes. Like, I'm not like the biggest fan of the roasted chicken. I like the bread with the sauce more. That's actually really good. A lot of flavor. I think it's also because I put the lemon on it. Yeah, really good.
You might have noticed, like, the chicken looks a little bit different. So it's this place by us is now selling this one brand that I'm curious. I was curious to see because I'll tell you, legs are just hit or miss with chickens.
Yeah, it's like the best chicken leg I've had.
Yeah, this chicken looked really good when I was, like when I prepped it, when I cleaned it and salted it. $1 more a pound than Bell and Evans chicken in the store. So I said, you know what, I'm going to try this one. This is a 4-pound chicken. It's only $4 more. Chicken, everything is not cheap anymore. That chicken was, I think, $6 a pound. So $24 for the chicken. But, if you're serving this to your family, this is enough for 4 people, and you could do roasted potatoes with it too. La Belle Patrimone. What do you think of the sauce?
It's good. The bread's kind of cold, though.
I know, James. I didn't heat up the bread. Sorry. I really want to eat this right now. Let me just show them
maybe
again.
you
how it
should.
looks.
I will say that first bite of the chicken was really good, but like the rest of this, it's not even like really edible. So maybe it's not so good. Like the rest of it is like completely rubbery. Really good. Like the skin is really crispy, which I like. It's like the skin is crispy, then the chicken's juicy. I was a little disappointed though, because like this whole part you can't eat really. Like,
Well, that's, a lot of times people will, they will just lollipop a chicken. They actually sell, I could see that's rubbery on that side.
like,
It's,
can't eat it.
look, we keep trying.
this side's fine, but
We keep trying with different chicken. We're trying our best.
I mean, I love the lemon stuff. Like even though I'm not the biggest fan of the roasted chicken, but yeah, I do love lemon. Like chicken piccata is one of my favorite things with some like linguine on the side. So this was pretty good. The bread was cold, so kind of like ruined the bread sauce combination for me, which I always love. Overall, I'm gonna say this is like an 8.
I will take it. James, we always appreciate you coming in to these taste testings. We appreciate you always watching. Appreciate you coming here every week to see the recipes and to see him taste test. We will see you next time.